Today we're taking a look at Ubuntu 20.10, which came out on October 22nd of 2020, which is actually yesterday at the time of recording this video, to see how much or how little Ubuntu has changed since 20.04, which I took a look at in the video that I'll link up in the card. Now keep in mind that unlike Ubuntu 20.04, Ubuntu 20.10 is not an LTS release. It's only a short-term interim release, whatever you want to call it. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so now the first thing you'll notice is Ubuntu 20.10's new wallpaper. Every new Ubuntu release ships with a new wallpaper. But anyway, let's dig around the system by first going into the settings. Oh, and by the way, you'll notice that Restart is now its own button under the Power Off/Logout menu, so it's no longer hidden under Power Off. That makes Ubuntu a little bit more user-friendly when you go to reboot the system. But anyway, let's go to Settings and go to the About tab, and you'll notice that Ubuntu 20.10 uses GNOME 3.38 as its default desktop environment. But anyway, since the default wallpaper was like the very first thing I brought up, let's look at the background tab to see what other default wallpapers this ships with. And very nice selection. Every new release comes with different wallpapers. They should really keep the old ones from previous releases. I know that Ubuntu 20.04 brought back the old Ubuntu 8.04 wallpaper, so that was nice if you're feeling a little bit nostalgic about old Ubuntu releases. And if we look under the Users tab and unlock this thing and add a new user, we get the option for using an enterprise login for businesses and schools that want to keep their logins centralized. Ubuntu 20.04 also offers this option during installation in the user account setup process. But anyway, if we look around the rest of the settings, you'll notice that not much else has really changed. So let's go digging around the rest of the system, starting with LibreOffice Writer. And you may have noticed the new LibreOffice icon in its loading screen, which showed up for a split second. And you will also notice that Ubuntu 20.04 now ships version 7.0 of LibreOffice. And now LibreOffice on Ubuntu now uses Ubuntu's own icon set. So that's good for a change, so LibreOffice will blend in slightly better with the rest of your system. And if we go into Thunderbird Mail, you'll notice a new welcome interface for setting up Thunderbird. Like if you click on email, it'll bring up the email address screen. And if we click on calendar, we get the option to create a new calendar on this computer or sync with a calendar on the network and other stuff. But anyway, now let's go into our application menu to see what other applications there are and if there were any changes to existing ones. And one new feature with Ubuntu 20.10 is that you can now move around icons and put them in folders. So that's very nice. So that way you're not stuck with the alphabetical sorting. I don't know why Ubuntu didn't start doing that back when it first used GNOME 3 back in 17.10. But anyway, one thing I want to bring up is that Ubuntu is still sticking with the Snap Store that it switched to by default in Ubuntu 20.04. Like, why? After seeing all the negative user feedback about this, including from me. But anyway, let's look through the rest of our applications, including Cheese. Right now it's saying no device found. What if I can fix that? I guess now that I've connected my webcam to my virtual machine, I have to close out of this and reopen it. Ah, there we go. Hi. I actually did not expect to be on camera at this point. But anyway, let's try to record a video here. And you will notice that Cheese hasn't really changed at all since Ubuntu 20.04, just like most of the other applications. But if you go up to the top right, you'll notice a new microphone icon for when the microphone's on. And if you drop down here, you'll get a new volume level toggle for your microphone. And let's stop record. And we don't need to play this recording back, since my webcam sucks anyway. And actually, speaking of the top bar, if we click on the date and time, you'll notice that it'll show you your upcoming events. I have none because I didn't add any. But if we go into calendar and add an imaginary new event and go up to calendar, it'll show that event right there in the today view. Now it only shows events that you have upcoming today. But anyway, if we look through all the other applications like files, you'll notice that there weren't any real significant changes. I'm not going to make this video unnecessarily long by going through every single application to prove that to you. So I'm going to top this all off by opening up Firefox and visiting my YouTube channel. And let's try going and watching a video. You know what, I always do this video when showcasing my YouTube channel in these Linux distro test videos. So for a change, I'm gonna go play my most recent one.
Alright,
Today we're taking a look at Ubuntu. So now, in case you're unfamiliar, let's actually up this resolution. It actually gets better as you go along. Punch in our password, and then we'll be greeted by our desktop. The frame rate's slow because I'm in a virtual machine, but if you were in a physical machine, the playback would be much better. Just first impression with this distro, I haven't even been using it for a minute, and it already feels so modern. But anyway, let's just install all our updates quickly. And actually, I do want to make a comment on the installer. Canonical should really update this to make the process more user-friendly, because this is most likely going to be a new user's first experience. So you want to make the installation process as simple as possible. I know some other distros have more user-friendly installers, so this has got some catching up to do. And besides, this wasn't really updated since 2014, which is already 6 years ago at the time of shooting this video, so it's kind of been long due for an update. But anyway, you will notice that the Ubuntu installer switched to a new icon, which is actually a lot smarter than the Ubuntu 20.04 icon, which I didn't go over in my Ubuntu 20.04 first impressions video. But in case you're unfamiliar, it could either look like the Ubuntu logo was assembling itself or disintegrating, depending on the way you looked at it. Most people looked at it the latter way. So I'm glad they reversed course on the Ubuntu 20.04 installation icon for Ubuntu 20.10. So, should you upgrade to Ubuntu 20.10? Well, there weren't many changes since 20.04, and it's not an LTS release anyway, so it's only going to be getting 9 months of support instead of 5 years of support. So, I'd say, for now, stick with Ubuntu 20.04, and hopefully the next LTS release, which is going to be Ubuntu 22.04, will be more worth the upgrade. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, found it interesting and informative, hit the like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment.